Yo, what is up, everyone? This is the Exalted One, and I am your host for the Yahoo Fight Room podcast, where we interview people from back in the days of the early internet, and we generally just talk about anything and everything under the sun related to Yahoo and how things were back in the day. This is a long format podcast where there's generally no time limits, so as a little disclaimer, things can get explicit and offensive. So if this is not your cup of tea, now is your time to bow out and find something more constructive to do. Otherwise, sit back, relax, and enjoy your experience.
2 tears in a bucket, time to say fuck it. Got your whole group bugging, not a damn motherfucker can't touch me. Shake a motherfucker off like he's dusty. 2 tears in a bucket, time to say fuck it. Got your whole group bugging, not a damn motherfucker can't touch me. Brush a motherfucker off like he's dusty.
Huh.
I don't know.
No, man. This dude was walking down the street against traffic in the middle of the lanes, making cars go on each side of him. And I'm like, oh shit, I gotta get it. I gotta get this on film when I hung up. So I go to record, and I turn around, try to come up, and he had done walked up in some fucking lot, but he's butt ass naked. I mean, barefoot and all. Just fucking walking around with his little dinky doo fucking swishing him back and forth.
Oh my God.
And he's just like throwing his hands up in the air like, I don't know, blah, 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 blah. I'm like,
what the fuck?
What time is it?
Like midnight. Well, yeah, midnight. What the fuck?
Remember what I was telling you about this area that I'm in here?
Yeah.
That you don't know what you're going to fucking see.
Dude. I remember that shit happened to me like a while back. I was at the bar and some dude walked in butt ass naked. But he had a fucking bed sheet and a hospital thing, like a bed sheet draped around his neck and a hospital fucking ID bracelet on. So I'm like, this dude he escaped from the loony bin.
Yeah, he just escaped.
Yeah.
No, but are you recording now?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. So you got the part about the naked guy.
Oh yeah.
Hey, you got to have a naked guy in the recording. Why not? Just
yeah,
to start the show out right.
It's a great way to start.
Just walking down the street like nobody's fucking business, man.
Right.
Wow. No, but what I was going to say about Cassandra is she had a way. She kind of reminds me of Anne Rice when she describes a scenery. It's like you're there, you know.
Yeah.
If you're in an office, well, you know that there's a paperweight on the right end of the desk, and then it's got something else leaning against it. I mean, those little bitty meticulous details Cassandra would throw in on a whim. I mean, she would create a scenario where she's whooping your ass around the house with a belt, and she's knocking you into shit, and shit's knocking over and falling on top of you, and just it was just a domino effect in the whole time that she was just at the mic. You know, she could just puke, and shit would be funny.
Right. But
yeah, that it's fighters like her that kept the whole scenario of what the fight room was supposed to be in good, happy, gonna bust your gut laughing. Your cheeks are gonna be hurting by the end of the scene, and you know, she a true gem. I mean, it's.
Dude, I never forget. One of my like long lasting impressions of this chick was like, she got on the fucking mic and was doing that same shit like you were saying, the domino effect shit, and like
right.
She grabbed, I don't know if it was an actual dildo, like a vibrator, or what the fuck it was, but she's like, I'm gonna come over there with my fucking chainsaw, and like, dude, the sound effect, like, I don't know if she just like turned on some kind of fucking mechanical thing, but
I think she had a blender set that,
oh yeah, that could have been,
that she would skew on once in a while.
Yeah, because that shit sounded like a fucking chainsaw, dude. She would use legit shit in the background to like I don't know, add material to her fight. It was ridiculous. And that shit would just be grinding away in the background. And
she would put it against the desk and be like, yeah, this is what my vibrator is. This is how powerful it is. She's like, I got one that plugs in, you know.
Like his fucking leaf motor engine or some shit, or leaf blower engine or something. I don't even remember what the fuck the
like it was a 2-stroke motor.
Yeah. Oh my god, that shit is crazy. Cassandra was one hell of a goddamn fighter, man. She's ridiculous.
That, you know, I just wish I knew the real story on like it with her. And well, I kind of know the whole synopsis with Kiss of Death, but like you mentioned in an earlier conversation about Wrath being gone.
Yeah.
You know, it's inevitable. People die, but I honestly don't believe that Cassandra left the fight rooms that way. I don't think that, you know, 'cause there's a lot of, well, she died like 3 times. People like faked her death when she was not around.
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, she died in a car accident, or oh yeah, she died, someone shot her, you know, and stuff like that. That she must have whooped somebody's ass really fucking hard in order for them to stage her death. I mean, I don't know why somebody would really joke like that, but I mean, it takes all. That's what was there in the fight room. It was a cesspool.
Yeah.
So, you know, you took the good with the bad, and you just try to deal with it. But
I mean, she could have left on a high note, man. Like, she could have just disappeared, and that was the rumor that got started or something. But like, I remember specifically hearing from like Bite My Ass and Starbit was the other one that was a part of that whole little gang. But I remember hearing from both of them, and whether or not they covered for her, I have no idea. You know what I mean? But I mean, she could have just, something could have happened, and she could have just wanted to leave on a high note. You know what I mean? Like, why not go out fucking ass kicking to the end of your day?
So you were saying that you believe that she died while.
I mean, I don't know what actually happened to her, but. And I don't even know if she's actually like dead, but you know, according to like Bite My Ass and Star.
For all we know, I mean, she could have went to jail. She could have hit the lottery and said, fuck it all. I mean, nobody knows. And that's people like her. I want closure. I do. I just, it's not enough for me to just go, oh, well, there's one that went out like a fucking wildfire. Yeah. You know, to me, it's not fair, especially when you build like the different personalities that people had was what made the kinship in the room so, I don't know, so in such a bad place, heartfelt, you know.
Yeah, right.
The camaraderie between people, and like with her, I sat and had many conversations just one-on-one with her. We would just sit and talk back and forth, and she was just real deal, just good old country gal when it came down to it. I mean, she didn't have any honest hate towards anybody, and she was always adamant about that she wasn't anything about somebody's color or where they came from, just as long as it all depended on how you treated her. So that's something I always respected out of her. And if she ever gets a chance to resurface, I'll definitely be letting her know that she fucked up with me, because, you know, I who knows? I may even came and visited her. Hell, I think she lived in Tennessee or Kentucky or some shit, or
I don't even know where she actually lived.
Louisiana, maybe. I think she was somewhere in the South.
Yeah.
But yeah,
man. Yeah, like I said, I don't even know. You know, those people that, man, they just kind of fizzle out. Like, there's a bunch of people that I know that were kind of like that. They just kind of, you know, fizzled out. They said enough was enough, I guess, or some real life shit probably happened or some shit like that.
So did you ever have any rumors of your death?
No.
Yeah, I had one.
You did? What was the rumor of your death?
Well, I forget how they said that I died, but hell, I was only gone for 2 weeks.
God bless, dude.
Internet was down for some fucking technical issue, and I come back and they're like, "Oh my God, Unholy, you're still alive? Oh, this ain't Unholy. No, someone's hacked his name. You know, like shut the fuck up. Like he done forgot what I sound like. Are you serious?
Right.
It's just,
They had rumors like that about everybody. I think the only reason that I didn't have that rumor is because I was so young. You know,
maybe they thought they were crossing the line there.
Either that, or I saw Yahoo pretty much until its death anyway. You know, so I don't know, man. Like there was never probably an opportunity for them to spread that fucking rumor. I don't know. Do you remember? Do you remember a guy named Just Max?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He
got hit. Huh?
He died a long ass time ago. You remember that? He had a heart.
Oh, wait a minute. Yes. Now I remember. Yeah. That did slip my mind because I remember.
I have a little.
Callie had a real hard time with that.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. What, Callie Chick Heather? You mean?
Yeah. There for a while. I think that they actually met and dated or something.
That's an old school last name too. God damn.
Callie Chick Heather.
Yeah. Fuck. Do you remember Captain fucking Howdy at all or no?
No.
Okay, because I think Callie Chick Heather
maybe
knew him. Wow. Yeah. But I have a brief small recording of that dude singing in his fucking ass voice, man. Yeah. He's like, I fall in love.
I can hear him doing some shit like that because he would sing to their asses.
Yeah. Yep. It was in the midst of something. I don't even remember.
He had that DJ voice, man. It was like, well, it wasn't like Wolfman Jack, but I mean, he had that persona that said, "Hey, I should be in radio."
Yeah. That deep fucking smooth, like just
it's smooth as a fucking bass groove, man.
Yep.
But I remember he loved bashing on the Brits.
Yeah, he did.
He let him have it too. And it was really weird listening to him fight one of the Brits and then turn around and just like kind of dismiss any other fight that would come his way. He would argue with somebody a little bit, but he would get in more of an intellectual debate if it was an American. But for some reason, when it come to the Brits, he just felt like he had to slam their asses like uber hard.
I always found it kind of challenging to fight Brits, man. I don't know what it was. Those motherfuckers have a way of coming off like real pompous and shit. But like when you break it down, they ain't no better than anybody else.
I always, you know, with that English accent, everything comes off so fluffy. You know, it's like, but you just oof. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do with that? Am I supposed to laugh or cuddle you? What? I don't. I mean,
the Brits I fought, dude. I don't know.
Well, look at old DZ. You know,
DZ.
That dude, Jesus. He was the slurriest fucking. I mean, I honestly thought before I seen his actual photo, I thought that this dude had like a Michael Strahan gap in his teeth. And, you know, like the bottom teeth were also jagged or something. Like he had one tooth that was taller than the rest of them or some shit. I honestly thought he was just some cartoon character looking dude. And if, like today they have what they call the Billy Bob teeth.
Yeah.
And in order to, you know, emulate his voice, I would have to put those kind of teeth in and try to talk. I mean, and then to get in a heated argument.
Yeah, no,
man,
dude, I've never seen DZ really. Like, I remember him being on the mic a couple times, and I do remember him sounding exactly like you're talking about. But that dude, he would just always be typing the same shit over and over again.
Well, yeah, DZ equals I win was his fucking motto. I mean, if it's one thing that he instilled upon Yahoo, it's the fact that he would type that in the screen. So, and it did nothing. It was childish.
Yeah.
But then when I actually seen his eggplant of a fucking head, then all of that other shit went out the fucking window. Someone even made like a the Photoshop, and they took an eggplant and they shaped it, tilted it just right by the way he had his head tilted, and that forehead was the bottom base of it. It was like an eggplant that was upside down.
Jesus.
And I swear, he had a forehead that you can land a fucking 747 on. You know, it was to say the least, it was a helipad, because that fucking forehead, his forehead went from ear to ear widthwise, and he was receding. So right now he probably looks like George Jefferson, but a white version.
I remember that shit, dude. I remember, like, he had, for the longest time, I don't know if it's the same picture that we're probably having in our heads, but it was that one where he looked like fucking Neo from The Matrix, dude. He had them sunglasses and shit. Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of, he had a big ass forehead in that too. But man, it just, and then to hear him talk about all the pussy that he gets. Oh my God.
Yeah, but he was dating Hannah for the longest time. You remember that chick?
You mean online dating?
I guess that's what it would have been, right? Like, they didn't know each other in real life.
They did a lot of freaky shit, because one time I was ghosting on him, and I followed his name under another account that I ended up reluctantly getting added on. And I mean, I did not think it would even happen. I was like, nah, he's not going to accept. But he accepted it because he didn't know it was me. Jeez. And I think I was under an alias, a female alias is why I got him. So I follow him, and he's in a room with Hannah. And I'm ghosting, though. And he doesn't even know I'm in the room. But I was able to follow him because I had the tag. And he's in there cybersexing her. Jeez. He's all talking about how he wants to, I'm going to go down on your thighs. And but he was, of course, in his DZ voice, go down on your thighs. And it's,
Oh, they were on voice. Oh, shit.
Yes, they were on voice.
Yeah, okay. All right.
They were in a personal created room that was not locked.
Holy shit.
I walked in there and ghost, and then I jump up on the mic and go, "You're busted." And of course, all hell comes unglued, So, yeah, Hannah was like, "Who the fuck is this?" And blah 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 blah. Dude, she starts fucking going the fuck off, and she didn't even say anything. I didn't hear her, nothing.
Oh, you probably dried her up so fast, dude.
Oh, I bet so. She's like a sponge.
I'm glad you actually busted that shit, because the only person to ever fucking really, like, get a hold of something like inside of me was fucking DZ, because that motherfucker. He
had everybody's cap twisted at one point.
Dude, he got me so good. Like, it was the only time, and this is before, like, I don't know, you heard doxing and shit, but this is before, like, doxing was called doxing. But, like, this motherfucker tricked me into signing a guest book on a website because people were talking shit on me on this. It was like a tripod website or some shit. And there was that, like, I don't know, HTML kind of fucking, like, leave a comment guest book type shit, and you signed it.
Even all the GeoCities offered that and stuff.
Yeah.
It was a common link.
Yeah. And this dude tricked me into commenting on it, and I didn't know at the time, but, like, if you were the owner of it, it logged your IP address. And, like, back in that day,
he sniffed you.
Yeah, and your IP address was tied to your phone number, right? And then you got all that information when you looked it up. Like, your shit wasn't private. I didn't have a private number at the time, but you could get all this info. And I remember, dude, DZ came into the fucking fight rooms and just spammed that shit, dude. I had people call.
I remember you saying something about that. That kind of took it out of you for a while,
dude. Yeah, I was like probably 14, 15, something like that.
Because you had other people from the fight room calling your house and shit, didn't you?
Yeah, man. Talking to my parents, dude. My mom knew I was in the fight rooms and shit, because she'd fucking bust my ass every once in a while. Like, shut the fuck up, trying to go to bed. Like, all this shit. And, but she didn't know what the fuck to do when them people started calling, man. talking like prank
What?
phone calls and shit.
Well, I mean, can you imagine somebody that's out of the element, has no clue of the fight room? Really, she might know that you go there, but to get a phone call,
oh yeah,
out of a mid sleep probably, you know.
Yep. We ended up.
I can imagine
off the hook.
I can imagine the randomness of what that would be like. I mean, I've had prank phone calls before, but since it was more structured, they probably said your name. I don't know if she knew your screen name then.
No, they used my real name because I had.
Oh.
At the time, like, I forget how he got my real name. I don't remember how that fucking happened, but he knew, like, he knew all that shit, man. He fucking like pasted the shit, and so when they called up, they were literally like, "What the fuck," you know, blah blah blah, or they were just talking to my mom like in a way that they didn't use my name, but they were like, "Your son's been in trouble," and blah blah blah. You know what I mean? Like just totally random ass stories and making up scenarios about, you know, the FBI is investigating your son or some shit like that, and like by that time, like, my mom had an idea, but
I remember back in the day with that whole Google Earth shit, when she fucking got a hold of somebody's address, you could send them a picture over the top of their house and they'd be like, "Who the fuck are you?"
Yeah.
You know, you just take satellite photo of their home and they think that you got them zeroed in and you're watching their every move, and probably had them looking up in the sky every time they fucking
Dude, I literally, like, I mean, I didn't even have any of that shit going on, but like fucking Jason, well, I forget what his actual like Yahoo name was.
Jason was the other one that at one time he was running under a Unholy name.
Really?
And yeah, and I confronted him about it, and he's like, "Well, no, that's the name I use." I said, "Well, that's the name you're going to stop using, because I'll be on your ass and clown you every fucking time I see you." I said, "I will make you my goal." I said, "You don't want this." Didn't Jason have wasn't he like the leader of some little fight group or something? That
yeah, I think so, and I can't remember the name of that either. But I know I know somebody that would know. But
hey, I just remembered. Was trying to figure out who it was that was the leader of the enforcers.
Yeah.
Another slurry ass motherfucker, but an American, Ripster.
Oh, Ripster, that's right.
Yeah.
Ripster. Yeah.
Does that ring a bell now with enforcers?
Yeah, I know exactly who the fuck Ripster is. Used to work at a Burger King, blah blah blah. Yeah. I remember. I remember who that is.
And what was it? A Domino's that Dominator worked at? There's some pizzeria fucking place that he was working, and somebody found out where he worked, and they called up there, and they were online when they did it.
I think it was a Domino's or something. I think it was. I don't know, man. That's some that shit. Like I reflect on the old shit, and I'm like, I wasn't that personal back then. But then I'm like,
yes, it was. That was high profile, personal, man. Because, and you know, I can understand from where he was coming from, because he did come back and defend himself over it. He didn't just lay down about it. But you know, hearing him, nobody was wanting to hear what he was saying, even though he was saying the right shit. You know, it's like that's not what the fight rooms are.
Yeah, right.
It's sad that people would go to that level, even though all I did was the Google Earth shit. I never called anybody at their fucking house. Yeah. You know, if their shit was already plastered all over the internet, then if I thought it was going to be funny, then that's what I did. I gave them the fucking photo, and if nothing else, I'm just giving themselves awareness.
Right.
So but yeah, because I already had, which I told you before, about a couple personal incidences where there was actually somebody that come by to my house, and they parked at the front of the driveway, but they were on a motorcycle, and the chick anyway, was on the back of the motorcycle, and supposedly this person on the motorcycle was supposed to come in and come to my house and do something to me. But yeah, I'm sitting there online at the time. That was somebody that Born Rotten had this chick.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This
I forget what her name was, but she got me good. Got all my personal information and all that shit. And
that wasn't Anna, was it?
No. I can't even remember now. But there was also another person that she did the same shit to, which I can't think of his name right offhand, but it might come to me. He told me all about how he even came from Ohio to visit her. Jesus. And told me the scrap story of how the place that she lived and all this other stuff. So she gave him the right address, but she didn't want to come to the door. She didn't look like the photo that she was given and all this other shit. You know, when she realized that it was actually him, then she took off and closed the door. So she didn't want nothing. And I guess her sister was doing the talking at the door or something, or her friend, which was Kelly. Remember Kelly?
Kelly.
That was Born Rotten squeeze.
No, I don't know if I remember her or not.
She lived here in Indiana also, and that was her little best friend. I just can't remember what her fucking name was. But yeah, you used me like a tool, man, and that was I couldn't even understand why, but that's what some people do with the fight room.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. That's some deep fucking shit, man. Maybe I wasn't privy to all that shit going down just because of the fact that I was like underage and shit. I don't know. Or I just don't remember.
Yeah, I remember telling Born Rotten, I was like, man, you better be glad you're in fucking New York, because if I was in means of coming to New York, I would have already been there to meet your ass. I mean, and he tried to do the same thing to Nova. And they had a big falling out. Nova got keen to it before I did. I had a lot more time go by, but he had a lot of rehearsal time too. So
is that like, you know, Nova is in like Nova 86019, whatever the fuck, that guy?
Or I think it was 1390.
Yeah, he had a bunch of numbers after his name. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
For some reason, I was thinking Nitros and Chillin', but that was a different. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
He used to tell people that he was in a helicopter because he had a fan running in the background, and it sounded like a fucking helicopter.
Yeah.
So, and people really thought he was a pilot. And he's running around on Yahoo on the computer in the fucking helicopter for all they knew. Like, yeah, okay. He's just cruising, burning fucking fuel. People not even understanding how much fuel costs.
Yeah. Dude, he had a fucking crazy picture on his profile, I think, right? Like, he was in some, like, shorts next to a blue... It was a Nova, obviously, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think he had a 68 Nova.
Yeah, because I was like, man, the picture that I remember seeing was, like, from the 70s or something.
Or maybe it was a 72 Nova. I don't know. But the car itself, as far as I remember, it was in very, very clean condition, like a gold color.
Oh shit! I remember it being blue. Maybe you're right though.
Or I don't know. Maybe the old photo from the way the sun set on it maybe have some color blindness. You know.
I mean, I didn't know Nova as well as you, so I'm probably wrong, but I don't know, man. But anyway, yeah, like Born was doing the same shit to him. Yeah,
he got hit to him before me, and I keep almost getting the name of the other guy that came to visit, but he was in on that too. And then I was the third one, and that was the last streak with her. After that, it just, Jesus. You know, the whole ecology of the fight room just, it was going downhill anyway. So, and then that's about the time Born Rotten basically retired from Yahoo.
That's fucking crazy, man.
But yeah, I put everything from fucking death threats and everything else. I said, motherfucker, if I get my hands on you, I'm probably going to go to prison, because I don't care how small you are. I don't care. You know, you done invaded my personal life. It's just because at that time, you know, that wasn't exactly my house. That was my mother's house.
Yeah.
I lived there.
Yep.
And you're bringing strange fucking people to the driveway, motherfucker.
Yep.
So yeah,
that's the same way the shit that happened to me, man. One dude wanted to fucking show up and like have a powwow, and I'm like, dude, like I live with my parents. I'm underage, you dumb fuck. Like, why do you want to come visit a kid? Like, shit. Him and I think he was dating Don't Stroke It Ram It at the time, and I think or either that or was Maybe Baby, one of the two. I don't fucking remember the names, but. Like, yeah, both of them were like, oh, we're right down the road. We could stop by and say hello. I'm like, no, you step foot on this thing. I'm like, my parents are going to call the goddamn cops. Like, there's no way. But yeah, man.
That's
crazy.
That's insane because I thought, what if you, it's funny you say dating. Now, was it just an online thing or were they actually...
They were offline. Like, I guess she came and moved in with him, or they lived together for a while, but they met each other off of Yahoo, or on Yahoo, rather.
I don't think that would have been Don't Stroke It, Ram It. To be honest,
it was
sure.
It was one of those. Fucking, I forget her goddamn name. I used to be
Rage. That Fist of Rage. That was the other guy that came from Ohio.
Oh, Fist of, yeah, I remember that dude.
He told me all about it. He's like, look, whatever you're seeing in this girl, believe me, it's not her. And I was like, well, who? I mean, we knew each other in Yahoo, but we didn't know each other like this. And I was like, well, if what you're saying is true, continue. But if you're just putting me on, just go ahead and let me off the hook now because I don't have time for this. He goes, no, you need to fucking hear this. And he starts telling me almost to the T of where she lived, and I was like, wait a minute. I said, yeah, that's and it was actually an old trailer park that I used to live in.
Oh shit.
Back in the day when it was brand new. Yeah. But she lived there as years of like 10, 15 years have went by that it just kind of got ran down and the management didn't keep up on it. And it was like the white trash community for real.
Yeah.
And it would have been definitely a ghetto fabulous trailer park for all the WTC. It really would have. They'd have loved that.
That's crazy.
They'd have took pride in saying they were from Lake of Lanterns.
Huh. So like, I'm guessing like these were all like Bourne's little minions type of thing or some shit. Like they were just like rope.
All it was Kelly and her little best friend. And somehow they got off on doing this shit to people.
Oh, I see.
Talking them up, saying, oh, hey, yeah, it would be great to meet and this and that. And so, you're going to be gullible to a certain degree, especially when you see a beautiful girl. Okay, this is where it's easy to pin down a guy. You just put a fucking beautiful girl's photo up there and say, yeah, this is me. And you got multiple photos that show the same shit. It's like, well, that really must be her.
Yeah.
And she wants to meet me. So,
well, back
every guy's going to be hungry.
Yeah, back in the day, dude.
You didn't have a whole lot to go on.
Yeah, right. I'm like, dude, there's people that couldn't. I didn't have a cam for the longest time, right? Like, and I didn't even want to have a cam. But, like, people couldn't afford webcams back then, dude. Like, that shit, I don't know. It was, and plus, they were all pixelated anyway. Right. Like but
at least even so, you could get a decent image.
Yeah.
A decent image.
Yeah. But, I remember that shit, man. God bless. Yeah.
Well, some people, I mean, depending on the setup they had, that sometimes you could have a trash camera and just a good bandwidth, and it was like fuck, I can't remember. Someone they said they had just a little Walmart shit camera, or maybe it was Eve. I think she had just like the cheapest little camera that she could afford, and she
had good image.
I mean, it was a little pixelated, but it was because of how the light was. That's one thing that you need fluorescent lights.
Yeah.
If you had incandescent, then you wasn't going to get the quality in the photo unless they got really, really bright.
Yeah.
But then you're all shiny and shit and looking like a negative of fucking Yardie.
Fucking Yardy. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that dude, he was so black, he was shiny.
Oh man, I ran into him actually like on fucking YouTube on some random ass video about I think he had a fight recorded. It was probably Scats.
Huh.
Or one of Porkit, one of them motherfuckers he had fights of or something, and I'm like, I didn't even know it was him, dude. He's under a different name, but I was looking at the picture and I'm like, is that fucking Yardy? Is that? And I left a comment on there, and he commented back and is like, dude, what's up? And I'm like, holy fuck, man, you still look bald. Like you remember he had that receding hairline and shit going on.
Yeah, it goes from the top of his ear to the other top of the ear.
Dude, he was bad, like real bad. That motherfucker prematurely.
Didn't he have some big ass glasses too?
Oh, I can't remember. Yeah, he did. He did have glasses. I think he still has glasses.
Because
Shit.
I remember some big ass glasses, like, you remember the Nutty Professor?
Like the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, when Eddie Murphy is talking about the comedian, he's like, well, I've heard of dreadlocks, but shitlocks.
Shitlocks, yeah.
Before I had even seen that movie, I was calling his head shitlocks. Because it just looked like strands of poop hanging from his fucking head.
Yep. I remember that shit, dude. I think, man, shit.
And I think he just had braids. I don't even think that they were dreadlocks. It was just the way the braids looked in the photo.
Think you're right. Yeah, I think he had just braids.
He had another photo that was in some bad light.
Yep.
And he just literally looked like a shadow.
Yep.
But that forehead shining, just glistening, man. It's like like he's got Vaseline on his forehead, man. It's just shiny.
Yeah. Well, that motherfucker, he probably did fucking wax his shit, man. You know, gave his forehead a little spit shine. Put some Vaseline on it.
Lick his hand and rub his head real quick. Take a picture.
You know how people fucking like wet their fingers and fucking like
lick their eyebrows.
Yeah, dude.
He said, "I gotta have my forehead on fleek."
Right. The ladies are gonna love this. I buffed it out. It's nice and shiny.
Hey, give it a good smack. Raise it up a little bit. Fucking
no, but that dude's
man.
A good dude, man. We were supposed to he invited me to play some video games and shit with him, and I'm just like, nah, man, I don't know. I haven't been in that shit. The types of video games he plays, I'm like, I don't know, a little sketch, but he's into all that VR shit now, so maybe something off the top.
More power to him.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, fucking this whole Yahoo, I guess train, you know, going through the years.
Yeah,
it's always exhilarating. And the last few times that we've talked about it, it seemed like it always takes off to another plane of existence. It's like,
oh yeah,
did this shit really happen? And then, yes, it really did. You know, the shit that was talked about, the visualizations of the way people fought, it just, I can almost see a movie in this. That I don't know. I honestly think there's really somebody wanted to apply it.
Yeah, it'd be really hard to do like a movie about Yahoo or some shit.
Oh no!
No.
I think there's probably a sitcom involved in it. You know, because you couldn't do it in one session. You would have to do it in 15-minute intervals. You know, and then especially when you got to the era of when the judge fights started to come in, and then those would actually, I mean, because if it was like a televised incident, then you would actually see the person, you know, yelling at the screen, spitting on the monitor.
Right. Dude, I just got like an instant fucking, like, I could just see Metal fucking Mayhem fucking running them judge fights. And because he used to always fucking run them motherfucking things. And there for a while, dude, there was like so many booters and shit in Yahoo that, like,
We had to create private rooms.
Yeah, and that was the only way to fight. I hated the judge fights, man. I couldn't stand that shit.
Oh, I still toughed it out. I mean, a couple times I got into those judge fights because they kept fucking begging, come on, because they needed people.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't do this. I'm like, well, just be a judge. And I'm like, no, I don't even want to fucking be a judge. So then I'd get caught up. There wouldn't be enough people, but there'd be some hard bangers in there.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm going to admit, even though that I never lost a judge fight, it was tough. Just even fighting people that I was so good of friends with. It was kind of hard to not have, I didn't have the tenacity that I thought I was going to have, because people coming back at me, and I know they were thinking it's pretty hard too, but they're coming at me with some really good shit. and I'm like, oh, how am I going to bail myself out of this? And to be honest, I think one of the fights that I won was probably only because I was a favorite.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think that's the same for me. But I remember having like a difficult time, just because like I was so used to that quick interaction back and forth, and like the judge fights I was in, like,
oh, I know,
30 seconds.
You got to wait till they say something.
Well, each person had 30 seconds on the mic, and it was just you.
Right.
And so like I remember
that's what made it the most difficult to perform. I mean, we were, I guess, what would be, you can't really think, or you can't portray something very analytical, because you would lose the audience in 30 seconds.
Right.
So you could, whatever you said in the beginning was that better strictly be a warm up. You don't want to tie into something hard as soon as you start up, because then you got to kind of run with it. And then they get to come back and go, well, your whole entire basis of the last time you come up on the mic was this.
Yeah.
And then they bounce around in 4 or 5 different subjects and smash it. So
my shit was, dude, I could never remember what people said during their 30 seconds of their time to like refute it. Like it just wouldn't stay in my head. It wasn't like the quick back and forth that you would normally have. Like, I love that fast paced, like back and forth, you know, 2 people on the mic.
Thinking on the fly and shit.
Yeah. You know who would be really good at them fucking judge fights, though, would have been Edge. Like, Edge would have he would have been out there with a fucking notepad, like just taking notes.
Like we were talking about his rehearsals and shit.
Yeah.
You know, he would have probably never lost.
Yeah. I think he would have been really fucking good at it.
But
and
see,
maybe Max too. He might have been good, but I don't know. All them people, like even Y2, like all them people that were really good analytical people that could like really do an argument, but then also kind of like throw in those little bits, you know, like they would think of something funny and I got to use that in a judge fight, or I got to use that in a fight or whatever.
Right.
I think they would have been really good. But
well, see, that's the thing that I always felt a little like insecure in the judge fights, because all I could, you know, back up on, and like you're saying, 30 seconds to come up with some shit that ain't no one else going to respond to until after you've said it all, is, man, you know, I would find myself bringing up shit that I remembered from fighting somebody else.
Yeah. Yep.
And just to try to keep it funny, and like I ran out of juice. Yep. That's why I gave up the judge fights, because I knew eventually I was going to fall, and then I couldn't have people out there going, yeah, I beat Unholy in a judge fight. No, you don't get to run around like that if I can avoid it. So that's why I just cut them off. Yeah. Don't even invite me to these motherfuckers. I don't even want to judge them, because I don't want to be judged as being a judge. Like, oh, well, Unholy likes this person and that person, because that shit went on. And I was like, why do you even bother doing the judge fights if you think they're already rigged?
Yeah.
So,
and that, like, the whole dynamic of fighting, not even just because of the 30 seconds, but the dynamic of fighting was also, like, you could change your style depending on who the judges were. And so, like, you would know whether to approach the situation like, oh, these motherfuckers like somebody who likes, you know, certain types of jokes, or like somebody that's going to get up there and just beat the shit in consistently, aggressively. Like, you could cater to the judge. And then a lot of it, dude, like you were saying, depends on whether or not the judge actually fucking liked you, or if they were a part of a clan or some shit like that.
Right.
And, you know, supposedly they're supposed to have a neutral stance.
Like there was some kind of prize at the end or some shit.
Yeah.
Wasn't nothing that was going to benefit nobody other than people's egos.
Yeah, that's dude, it's exactly what it was. And like, you know, even Metal, like as much as he was like the I don't know, MC of the whole thing, like every time that dude got into a judge fight, like he'd probably win the majority of them, but like the person like officiating it can't be fighting. Like he's going to be the favor every time.
Right.
So,
well, you know, it's funny from listening to him in a judge fight, it's like I could telegraph what he was going to say by the end, just by what he started with.
Yeah.
Like I said, you can't start with something that you plan on, dismembering, because whatever you said in that first 10 seconds is going to be forgotten.
Yep.
Unless you hit home on something with somebody, then they would bring it up. But I mean, a good fighter wouldn't even acknowledge of what you said to him. He would just throw you shit, because that's where the wins were geared at. And that's, like I said, I could tell where Metal would bring something up, and I know how he's going to end because I've heard his routine. I not like word for word like it was rehearsed, but I knew where it was going.
I remember that doing like, dude. I remember that dude just being like, you know what, Exalted? He's another one that's kind of like the whole like analytical fucking like talk about your fight while he's fighting you and try to do the shit better. Yeah, I remember that shit like hardcore.
He liked to try to analyze, and it just, I don't know, sometimes it worked for him, but I mean, if he come across another higher ranked fighter, he would just decimate himself by analyzing their fight, because it's just too easy to fucking flip that script on somebody.
Right. Well,
I mean, because if that's what your fight is going to be on critiquing whatever the fuck I said, well, Lord help you, because if that's all that you've got, you're going to get roasted bad.
Yeah, I mean, I eventually run out of steam with that shit, because I don't have anything. Like, my shit is playing off what other people say. And so if they're just saying what I'm saying, I don't have no fucking steam, dude. Like, I guess the fight's done, because, like, you're not bringing anything to the table. I'm not contributing anything when you're not contributing anything. Fuck you. I got, other shit to do. But
I was always in a mode where I have to one up whatever you just said. No matter how I got through it, I had to do it. Yeah. And sometimes I had to fucking hold myself and just let somebody else talk, because I was cracking up. I'm not even hearing what their fight is. I'm just cracking the fuck up. And if I had guests that was listening to me go, we'd be talking back and forth. And that's something else I know on a lot of other fights that happen, that somebody had someone else in the background. And that's why there was so, long pauses of when they would get back on the mic, right? Because they're probably all stoned and just like, okay, yeah, now get back up there on the microphone, man, and everybody be quiet. And then they unkey the mic, and everybody just probably fell out the place,
Yeah, man.
It's like my sister and her boyfriend had the room adjacent to where the computer was at one time, and I remember my sister's boyfriend, he had to get up for work at like, I don't know, 4:30 in the morning or some shit like that. And I'm still ranting and going and on and on and on. And actually it wasn't even the adjacent room. It was a room on the other side of the room that was adjacent. And because of me yelling and shit, he got up and he started to make his coffee, and he's like, I said, "Oh, how'd you sleep?" And he goes, "Oh, not too good, but it's all right." And he's shaking his head as he's pouring coffee, and he goes, "Man, last night I felt like I was in the fight room." Because, I'd have the volume up, and there's times I never knew when he was working or if it, so he had kind of a weird schedule, so it never really mattered. And they were always getting fucked up in the room anyway, and just watching TV throughout the night. So I like I said, I never knew. Didn't even give a flying fuck, because I don't know. I was kind of the cock of the roost there at the house anyway, so I kind of did whatever the hell I wanted. But yeah, he blew me away when he said, "Oh, I felt like I was in the fight room."
Fuck yeah.
Just hearing me go after people all night.
Right.
So yeah, I'm guilty. I'm one of those that should have went to bed but didn't, because I am.
Dude, when that adrenaline's pumping, man, it's pumping. Like,
well, see, I would be jacked up on Mountain Dew and eating fucking anything that I've, like, I always had big dinners. So I would be munching food throughout the night too, staying energized.
Yep.
And, eating candy and all kinds of other shit while I'm going at it. And my sister was always a big cook. She would always fucking make sure I had that brain food going, because she loved to hear me go off on the mic.
Right.
She'd, and the listening to the Brits and stuff, she always got a kick out of how they talked. And of course, she always got them confused with the Australians and, the New Zealanders and shit. But yeah,
it's crazy. The more you interact with people like that, the more like you kind of understand the nuances and shit. Like, just people from different varieties of whatever country they come from, and you're like, oh no, that's not a fucking Aussie.
Oh no, I've heard fights break out over the fact of who somebody's voice was.
Yeah. Yep.
And I know whoever the voice was had to be sitting back there going, these motherfuckers will fight over anything.
Anything for some entertainment, man.
Well, I tell you what, if anything, I think the fight rooms were very therapeutic for a lot of people. Me in particular, because like when I'd go to work, I'd be happy-go-lucky, nice and calm, but like during that time that I had that 2-week intermission while the internet was down, man, I know I was probably a crank, because I can get on a nerve, so.
I mean, that's how it was for me, man. Like, I had fucking anger issues. Like, that was my shit. So, like, for my, like, the only reason I think my mom allowed me to do that was because of the fact, like, I was letting off steam. I mean, I literally, like, this is like the equivalent of like, oh, normal people go to the gym. What the fuck do you do? Like, oh, I log into Yahoo and fucking.
I yell at people on the internet.
Yeah, I yell at people on the internet.
I verbally rape them. What?
Yep.
What you verbally what?
Yeah.
Excuse me, son. Step into my office over here.
Yeah, dude. Like, I don't know. And plus, like, shit, man. And because I asked my mom, I was like, Mom, why the fuck did you let me do that shit? Like, that's almost, like, these days, that'd be considered, like, bad parenting and shit. Like, you could...
Look, the reason why I come up with that analogy of verbally raping people is, I don't even think I told you this before, but I had a girlfriend that, the same one that once in a while calls me for a booty call and wants me to help her move and shit. Yeah, well, she, back in the day, when she would introduce me to one of her friends, she would introduce me, and then she'd be like, oh, what do you do? They're asking me a question like, what do I do for work? And then she would pop in and go, oh, he rapes people online. I just would have to clear this shit up, and most of the time we'd be fucked up anyway, so they already got it in their head that I'm some fucked up individual now.
Yeah.
I said, you're leaving out an important context. Verbally rape somebody.
Right.
And all I ever told her that was one time, and she would always fucking throw that on people when they would meet me. Oh my God, talk about digging a hole that you can't get out of. Every fucking time. And it would be a surprise every time. You would think I would learn that, okay, I need to beat her to the punch.
Right.
Whenever I meet someone. But what kind of freak show are you going to be if you're trying to beat somebody to the punch over that when they first meet you? Like, oh, hi, I'm Ram. So.
I mean, she was,
yeah.
They ain't lying, though. That's kind of what we used to do. Like, we used to go fucking.
Oh, I know. Yeah, people's souls would be split by the time we got off the mic sometimes.
Yeah.
God, hearing how all these people are dying off of weird shit just makes me want to fucking quit smoking, drinking, and watching everything that I eat and drink, and what the fuck.
Yeah,
work
dude,
out twice a day.
Dude, it's crazy. But she was really bad off because I think she was having problems, like some pretty hardcore problems there for a while, and I forget who the fuck told me about it. Somebody.
You know, it's something that might be kind of a bit of a wild card. I don't know if you ever remember Born to Be Wild 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
She might actually get involved in this. And if nothing else, her husband Neutralizer. I don't know if you remember him.
Yeah. Born to Be Wild, I think, might have been the one. Either it was her or like Sweet Candy.
Or that's her sister.
Yeah, one of those two, I think, is the one that told me about Mandy. I'm pretty...
That probably would be the case because they were all very close. Yeah. Even though, like, Mandy was head over heels for me. And she kind of, like, would ruin the time, you know, during the Coffee Clan sessions and all that.
Yeah.
You know, which is another topic that we could get on later too, as far as, you know, like the things that we did in Yahoo just to pass time. But the times that we would be sitting around chilling, Mandy would try to turn it into a show of how much she wanted to get my attention. And I would just be like, well, it's time to go into fight rooms and bust some heads. So, and then of course, it wouldn't be long. She'd come tagging along and I would have to jump offline because she would find me, man. And it just, I mean, she was on my friends list, but I mean, she just followed me, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, can I get a break? Even though, like, the only time that I would, like, you know, kind of keep her along is when I was in a room that I was real sketchy about because people would still put you on ignored, try to gain favor. Like, you know, the enforcers would have like 7 or 8 people in there. And it's like, you know, damn well, you're going to get put on ignore by all of them until they get the mic control. So I would at least have her doing the same fucking thing at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, I remember coming into, because they used to just drink coffee and shoot the shit all the time. And like, I remember coming in there like early in the morning before I had to go to school and just fucking like, what's up? You know, what's going on? Get ready for school, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And then they'd be in there just shooting the shit, having coffee. And like, man, I could totally go for a Coffee Clan session right now where like, you know,
oh man, what? Yeah. I'd give my left nut to do it again.
Fuck yeah, dude. Conyer used to come in there from time to time.
Yeah,
yeah, dude. We should. Oh man, we should set something up for that shit. That'd be fucking. That'd be pretty sweet.
Conyer was like your mommy, right?
Yeah, dude. I don't even really talk to her that much. Well, I don't have Facebook, but
I've watched a couple videos of hers where she's doing the jewelry.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, get on somewhere with your fucking Avon jewelry and shit.
Right. I mean, you know, I don't know, man. Like, as much as I felt like I knew Conyer, like, I think you probably hit the. She's probably just, you know, settled down and shit, found her own way in life. Because
she's like, aged.
Back in the day, Conyer is like
you put on weight when you age.
Well, not only that, but dude, when you settle down and shit, you get comfy and fucking lazy. You know, like whatever, but. You know, like back in the day, Conyer used to be fucking feisty as shit. I don't know.
Yeah,
if she's, you know,
high blood pressure Conyer.
Oh yeah, hot-headed Conyer, man. Like, yeah, it's fucking crazy.
She was, you know, she was always nice to me, and I just couldn't figure it out. So I always wondered, man, maybe she's got the hots for me, and she ain't saying it, you know. But
I don't know, man.
Her and the Hateds. You know, most of the chicks that were in there, they were always swinging on my nuts.
Oh, God, yeah.
I was like, you know.
Them Hated chicks were on another level, too.
So, hey, some of them was pretty damn good looking.
You know, I should probably, I have Renee on my fucking Pal Talk friends list. I should get a hold of her and see if she'd be interested in doing some shit like this, too.
So she's not on Facebook, is she?
No, I don't think so, but she's on Pal Talk, definitely for sure, because I've messaged her a couple times.
Well, no, she was in the room. You said when I was talking to you on the phone, I said, "Hey," tell her. I said, "Hey."
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So she knows I'm still circulated.
Yep. But she keeps to herself pretty much, man. Like she don't really fight. She's also, dude, she sounds so much older than what I remember. Like she keyed up, dude, and I was like, Renee? Like I'm like, you
like
sound
she just crawled out of a coffin.
Dude, like I was like, you sound like my grandma. Like what? I didn't say nothing, but I really, dude, you don't even understand how much I wanted to get on the mic and just bust her fucking balls over some shit like that, because she would have.
Well, I mean,
shit.
Like how old would she be now?
I don't know. Like, all right, so we were trying to figure this out. The last time I was talking to For Life, I was like, Renee was like 30 some. 30.
I want to say 36.
36, yeah, like 36 when I was like 18,
yeah,
something,
and I'd have been early 20s.
Yeah, and so I'm like, dude, Renee is like 60 some years old now.
Probably.
Like early 60s, late 50s. 36.
That might be about right.
So that's about 20 years difference. So yeah, something like that. But that I don't think anything really hit me as hard as like hearing her voice, and I'm like, oh man, time has gone fucking by. Like, holy shit, man.
I'm hoping that maybe at some point maybe get a chance to talk to her again, get the scoop on Cassandra if she actually has it.
Who would know? Like, you mean Renee?
Yeah.
Did Renee know Cassandra?
Fuck yeah. They were good friends.
Really?
Yes, they were good friends.
Before she was in Hated. I didn't think she was around. I didn't think Renee was around that long to know Cassandra.
Nah, yeah, she knew her.
Oh,
Cassandra hung around with the Hateds.
Oh, yeah. They were AKA at that point, right?
Maybe. But yeah, that's, if anybody that I can think of offhand that would know anything, yeah. I'd have to have her as a go-to, because there's literally nobody else I could even fathom to think. You know, we're to do a fucking death list of people that are confirmed dead and supposedly dead and one foot in the grave. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Renee's probably she's probably getting close.
It's mind blowing that all these fucking people that we knew, that like these hard bangers, it kind of makes you wonder. It's like, wait a minute, is this like a personality trait? You know, are we all going to be destined for death here soon? What the fuck?
I don't know. But you know what, though? Like, if Renee's still kicking and she's like 60. But, dude, like DFW, you remember DFW?
Right.
He's still alive and kicking. That motherfucker was old as dirt back then. This motherfucker is still around. Like, he's signed into Pal Talk one day. I just have my shit up and I'm like, DFW 90? Holy fuck.
Now, another one that would, which, you know, I'm just guessing because I've heard nothing from on Yahoo, or not Yahoo, but Facebook, is Mal. Remember Maladjusted?
Oh yeah, Mal. Yeah, Mal.
Me and him used to be friends on, well, not on my new account, but my old accounts.
Yep, same.
I think he died.
You think so?
I think so, because unless maybe possibly Kaz might know.
Yeah,
I don't know if she was friends with him or not.
Kaz, the other person that would know, but I don't think gets on Pal Talk anymore, is Cunt from Hell.
Yes.
Because they used to be real close.
So she's retired?
She doesn't get on, like, dude, she used to run the only, like, fucking, like...
Yeah, I know,
UK,
Apple insults.
Yeah. And I don't know, man. Something happened between, like, some personal shit happened, I think, in Pal Talk, is the rumor that I heard. And basically, I think it forced her to leave. So I don't think she does Pal Talk anymore. And I don't know what she does now.
I tell you what, the Cunt from Hell was actually a good-looking woman.
Really? I didn't.
Yeah.
Oh, I did know that. She had that picture on the beach or something?
No, you're thinking of Sue.
Oh, no. I remember Sue's picture, but I thought, man, I don't remember.
She was a little tight body girl. And she actually was younger than I thought that she was. And I remember she was going through schooling and everything else. I'd have small conversations with her from time to time, and just keeping tabs back and forth. And she is a really good girl, even though, you know, the portrayal of Yahoo gave her this literal come from hell attitude. But even when she went into Pal Talk, when she first went there anyway, she kind of had a grip of her Yahoo people, but she lost grip with running that fucking insult group.
Oh yeah, that shit takes a toll, dude.
There'd be times where I'd come in and be like, "Hey, cunt," and she'd be like, "What?" You know, and I'm like, "Well, hey, this is Unholy. You remember me?" And she's like, "Well, no, I don't think I remember any Unholy." And I'm like, "Well, I had to start reverting things." And then she's like, "Oh, okay, yeah." And I'm like, "Wow, really? Yeah."
Yeah, that happened. Hated Redneck, and I was in the Hateds for a while, and him and I used to do like tag team, you know, fights and shit like that, where it was like us two versus another two from another group or whatever. And like, I walked into Pal Talk, that dude's still under Hated Redneck, and I'm like, "Dude, yo, what's up, man? How you doing?" He's like, "Exalted 2 question marks," and I'm like, "Dude, it's Exalted, dude. What's going on?" He's like, "I'm good. How are you?" And I'm like, "You obviously don't fucking remember."
Right.
Who the fuck knows, man? I don't know. Some people maybe just don't have that good a memory or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how you could forget a major personality in Yahoo. To me, I mean, I might forget, but if I hear it or I see it, well, I'm going to know instantly.
Right.
I mean, I couldn't.
Like, cunt, she always remembered me whenever I'd like show up and say hi to her or whatever. But we both had that speed talk shit going down back in the day.
Right. Yep.
So I'm assuming, you know, we had that going, but I don't know what happened to her.
Hell, it was a fantasy of mine to one day actually meet her. Like I could get my life together enough to go to Australia.
Dude, it's expensive as shit, man.
Oh, I know. And on top of the red tape it would have took to get through there after 9/11, fuck, I'd have never made it.
Yep. It's the same thing now. Even if some shit, the stars, moon, planet align, dude, like COVID has that shit on lock anyway. Like you'd have to like quarantine yourself for like fucking 14 days before you could even see her or some shit, you know? Something crazy. But like, dude, there was a couple fucking people, like Thong Baby. You remember that chick?
Yeah, I miss her. Damn it. She was hot.
Yeah, I know.
She really was hot.
What happened to her? You think she's still alive?
Well, I think she is. I think she just probably found herself a fucking rich old man.
Damn.
I mean, there for the longest time we were friends on Facebook and MySpace and all that shit, and then she just kind of vanished.
Who else? Nasty
Stacy? Who?
Nasty Stacy, do you remember her?
Nasty Stacy.
Or like Sweet Baby Sarah?
Well, yeah, Sweet Baby Sarah was another one too.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Sweet Baby Sarah was another one that drifted off.
Yeah.
Man, I tell you what, Sweet Baby Sarah had the most perfect fucking bubble ass.
Oh, dude, and her she actually, Sweet Baby Sarah is the first fucking pair of tits I ever saw in my life. and let me tell you, I'm so glad it was her.
Right?
Because, dude, she had a nice set of jugs, and I've been ruined by some fucking jugs in my day, man. Like,
oh, I bet. Yeah, you see how some of them can look.
Oh, dude, yeah, she had a nice pair though, dude. Cause she's like, I remember she was in my fucking PM box, dude, and she's just like, you ever seen tits before? I bet you ain't ever seen tits, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, I mean, you know, and I was like 14, dude. Like, what are these people thinking? You know? Yeah.
But you weren't gonna say no.
Oh, dude, I was like playing along. I'm like, man, is this chick about to send? I'm like, are you gonna send me some fucking tits? And she's like, I mean, I can if you want. I'm like, damn, fucking straight, send me some titties. What the fuck? Hell yeah.
I don't know what it is with females, but they love to show some tits, don't they?
Dude, back then, man, back then was crazy. I don't even know what compelled people to fucking like send shit like that, or even get on webcam and do that. There was like, dude, I had people on webcam, like these chicks from the fight rooms that would just cam up and just fucking like do crazy wild ass shit. And I still sometimes don't even know why.
No, but back to what I was saying on the death list. I don't know why I'm curious about it. I mean, just, well, fuck. I mean, I definitely had feelings for all of these people. You know, and like another person I'm imagine has been dead for a while is Merle.
Oh, Merle West, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Granny.
Yeah. I wonder if he is. See, I don't know, because now I'm thinking Merle may be, but like Mal, maybe Mal like is just in real life, dude.
Well, if Mal's alive, he's in a fucking nursing home or something.
Yeah, I could see that.
Because I just can't imagine. I mean, with his age, hell, the last time I even talked to him, I think he said he was 58.
Oh shit! Yeah, so he's probably is.
I mean, it's hard to say, man. Just it's saddening, really, when you get caught in your thoughts about it. Just knowing that these fucking personalities that you never even fucking met.
Oh yeah.
That you know damn well if you could sit down and do it all over again with them, that you would have a fucking blast.
Oh yeah.
You know, just good fucking people.
Yep. Fuck, man. Like, even if it was just like some shit where it was like, oh, let's go like rewind this time period real quick. Like let's just see what Merle's up to, or like let's see what fucking Mal's doing. Like let's fucking just you know, let's go have a beer, like something, whatever, blah blah blah. Like it would be a good time.
Remember, and see, this is why I wish there were so many more recordings for the Yahoo Fight Rooms that are on YouTube right now, because I see it like, you remember the movie Ready Player One?
Yeah.
How he would go to the archive and start looking at, you know.
Yeah.
That's kind of like what it feels like, sitting here going through memory lane again with all this shit. And now, I guess, just kind of subdued by, like, oh, yeah, well, you can't go without thinking that, you know, so-and-so's not probably alive because they were old then, you know. And it's, you just got to come to terms that, it's been, like 20 years.
Yeah, man.
I mean, that's a lot to ask out of anybody that's would have already been in their 50s.
Yeah. Although,
you know,
I mean, like I said, man, like there is some longevity to be said, because like if DFW's still kicking, that motherfucker's gotta be like wheelchair. I used to make fun of that dude for like being in a wheelchair back then, but like that motherfucker definitely has to be in a wheelchair.
He always sounded old. Always.
Oxygen tank, yeah, dude, he's gotta be like ripe fucking geriatric now. Gotta be. So who knows, dude? Like, you know, I don't know.
This is where we really, really need to pull in, you know, but I don't know if Born to Be Wild would actually do it, but she may or may not. And if she could, she would, if nothing else, in personal messaging, she would probably be very resourceful on at least the obituaries of, you know, because she's always been kind of an almanac on Yahoo.
I don't know if it was Born to Be Wild, but somebody had a kid that was around my age, and they used to go by the name Whiz Kid. Do you remember who the hell that was? Okay. I want to say somebody in the Coffee Clan knew, and I forget what the fuck their name is. But that kid was smart as fuck, man. He's one of the, I think, the original people that programmed Ya Elite, or was like on the team, or you know, a part of that group or something. That dude was smart as fuck.
Now,
I wonder where like people like that are at.
Well, like another name, which I think I talked to you before, or maybe I talked to Wendy. You remember Wise Man?
Oh yeah, Wise Man 34. Fuck yeah, dude.
I think he's gone.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. That dude sounded like he was pretty old when I.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, I'm assuming he was like, no, he's pretty old. But he was, man, that dude.
If we could hit the lottery for millions, we could fucking have this whole thing put back together.
Dude, yeah, I mean, it probably wouldn't be the same as it was, but I mean, like, even something to get everybody together.
I'm not talking about reconstructing Yahoo, but just being able to have the resources to push the envelope. Oh, I keep burping here. Push the envelope to get this information out.
Oh yeah.
You know, because I mean, you imagine, like, let's say someone is in a fucking nursing home. Well, there's no way of talking to them.
Right.
But if you could go visit them. Excuse me, so and so, you have a visitor.
That would be fucking wild.
Says he knows you by Wise Man. Bring him in.
The Exalted one is here to see you. I don't.
Right. Yeah. Could you also tell him that Unholy's here?
Yeah, right. Unholy and Exalted are here to see you. I don't know, and then somebody, dude, we'd be giving somebody PTSD. Like they'd be shitting their bedpan.
With the fucking name Unholy, they're like, what is the Grim Reaper here? What the fuck?
Right.
Unholy.
I
don't even think that they would be allowed to relay that message.
No, probably not. You ever see that fucking there's like this little blip of this dude that's in a nursing home. He's got dementia or some Alzheimer's, one of the two, and like every time they put headphones on this dude and play his, the era of music that he grew up with, and he starts singing, his eyes light up and shit. And if you never seen it, I'll have to send it to you. But man, like that'd be some shit. Like we would cure people's Alzheimer's by fucking talking to people about the Yahoo days. Like their
only
eyes
problem is
fucking like light up.
that they're probably so used to inactivity would end up giving them heart attacks by default.
Yeah,
it's like,
too, yeah.
Well, we didn't know it was going to spur them this excited,
Right. We'll fucking
get that blood pumping.
We'll bring one of them $12 mic stands we used to use and just set it in front of them, and they'll fucking just have flashbacks.
Nurses that never heard him cuss would be hearing him say shit like, that motherfucker's still kicking? Boy, I'd be a goddamn.
Yeah, right. Who the fuck else was crazy back in the day? I don't even know.
Oh, well, there's always the Shroomy and fucking Karma.
Oh, yeah. That shit was fucking hated.
That fucking duo was fucking nuts.
Oh, dude, they were the best of the best, and then they were the worst of the worst, like, enemies.
Yeah.
Like, together, what a fucking powerhouse. And then when they were going at it, I think, wasn't Metal living down there or something? Metal was dating Karma, right?
Yeah. Or he was going to, but then I think some weird shit went on, and Karma was like, well, no, I really don't think that we should do this or something. And I don't know if he had actually came to the States or not.
I think he did.
But he was coming to slay her, because she was a vampire. You remember that?
Man, you're giving me total fucking flashbacks. I vaguely remember something about this.
He took it upon himself to become a vampire hunter, and his target was Karma. And I thought to myself, this is just some funny shit. No, I even asked Metal about it, and Metal evaded the conversation.
Like he was going to do some seriously fucked up shit to her.
Supposedly he was going to kill her with a stake.
Holy fuck. See, I didn't know all that because I vaguely remember something. And I remember it being like some kink fetish or some shit.
Look, to be honest, just how bowdy fucking Karma was, I bet you anything in real life, Karma would have fucking killed him.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Dude, I remember like, when shit was going down between Shroomy and Karma, I remember like the shit being physical. Like it maybe started off like in Yahoo, but it escalated to like in their real lives.
Well, they lived together.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and then Jack the fucking Ripper.
Jack the Ripper.
He was another roommate, or I don't know if he was dating Karma or something.
Yeah.
Or if he had some kind of interlude with both of them, I don't know. Yep. But he was always in the mix.
Yep. I remember because they would leave it on fucking hands free or some shit, and I remember shit going fucking down because you know how you could tell when somebody's talking in the background and the mic's keyed up and shit. Like that shit would be them two fucking going back and forth and throwing hands. And I remember like cops being called at one point in time. Like, dude,
the cops got called to Karma's house like 3 different times, and I think that's what got her evicted. And they had to move, and somehow they split up from being friends, and then they became friends again on Yahoo, but shit wasn't the same in real life.
Yeah, right.
You know, it's kind of like, we'll be cool here. It is what it is, but we're not hanging out.
Yeah. I still had contact with Shroomy up until a while ago, because I remember her first son. I ain't gonna say names or shit, but like her first son, like I watched that dude grow up, and it's like it's crazy to me because like I remember, and I'm not even in that kid's life, but I remember when he was born, and like when I was seeing like Shroomy would tell me about him, like what's going on in school and all this other shit, and this dude started making YouTube videos and shit. Like and I'm like, how fucking crazy is that?
How old is he now?
Oh, he's like fucking 16 or 17. Or 8. Maybe he's like 18 now. I don't even, because dude, it's been like 20 years,
right?
Fucking 15, 20 years. And
so how long did you have contact with her?
I think I probably still do. Like if I log back into Facebook, I'm probably still friends with her.
Huh.
But yeah, dude, like, cause we keep talking to each other and all this shit, and yeah, man. I mean, she fucking looks good now. I mean, yeah.
There's a whole lot of crazy that comes along with that one, though.
Well, I mean, that's neither here nor there. Because I mean, I ain't saying that she's got a whole damn family now. I mean, she's got like 4, 5, 6 kids. I mean, the dude she's with had kids, and she had kids, and now they all got kids, and blah blah blah. It's a happy home.
She's about probably ready to be a grandma.
Yeah, probably, man.
Damn.
It's just crazy. But the last thing I was talking to her about, because her kids, so I'm like, dude, your kid is old enough now to be in the fight room. Like, imagine if you were still doing Yahoo. I'm like, and your kid fucking got involved in that shit. I was like, your kid's doing fucking YouTube videos and shit now. Like, that's his version of the fight room. Can you believe that? And she's just laughing and shit. I'm like, dude, it's crazy to me.
So you talked to her on the phone or just on
I have
Facebook?
Talked to her on the phone, but that was like years ago, but just Facebook.
Oh. Yeah, at one time, me and her were really good, and then the fallout with Triple X and all that shit kind of divided us, or not kind of, it literally divided us. And, she claims that was her group, and I'm like, well, I had Triple X on my fucking Unholy tag before the group even came up, so it was made in my image. So, you can fuck off with the whole that you created it. I mean, she helped get like people like Nova. For some reason, Nova wasn't listening to me. She was able to recruit Nova, I think. there was some other heavy bangers that she was able to kind of twist in. And I think the fact that she was the female talking to a male about, hey, come along, is why that they even bothered with it. Because, you know, so in a lot of the recruiting that would take place, depending on who you sent to somebody for recruiting, would determine whether or not they joined.
Yep.
Whether they fucking knew him or not, but if you had that sweet voice to send to them, you know, anytime I was doing recruiting, I just tried to recruit the female fighters for the most part. But if there was a male fighter that I couldn't get to, I would instantly fucking send Shroomy.
Yep.
Shroomy,
Shroomy was a power. I mean, you know, like, yeah, she's female, but she was also a powerhouse in a room. So, like,
well, yeah, she already had the charisma that was required. So, and no one's going to follow anybody that doesn't already have some kind of reputable reputation.
Right. Yeah, man, that's crazy. Them fucking tactics, dude. It was like everybody had like their own system for fucking recruiting people, scouting people.
Mm-hmm. It was a business,
dude. It's crazy.
We should have been paid for this shit, man. We should have been paid.
I'm telling you, if the fight rooms came around today, you would be paid for it. That would be high class fucking entertainment, like jaw dropping entertainment. And
I said it then. I was like, man, they ought to fucking, you know, put this shit on talk radio or something.
Yep.
And it never surfaced.
No, I was, dude, I would have been right on board with you, because we were providing fucking like this amazing fucking, you know,
free entertainment.
Free entertainment. The web just wasn't built for that at the time. You know, like nobody was thinking about that shit, dude. All the shit we did was just for fun.
Well, I know you're familiar with Bob and Tom, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, they're based here in Indy, and if they would have, the fight room seems like something that they would have talked about at some point. They like somebody would have got wind to them.
Yep.
That, hey, you got to play a clip of this, and then get on board with it, you know, advertising it. And hell, when they were doing those albums and shit like that, fucking any one of us could have been on that fucking album.
Oh yeah.
Well, you know what? Freak. That motherfucker could have been on one of the albums for sure.
Oh yeah.
Because he could talk about anything.
Yep.
Freak Core, man, was, well, I've told you before, if there's anybody that, if I had to say I feared anybody in a fight, it'd be Freak Core, man, because that motherfucker could melt somebody.
Yeah. He is the one person that I just saw him like as my equal. You know what I mean? Like, or I held him in as like a high regard as I held myself. You know what I mean? Like I was just like, dude, this is one person that I don't think I would even want to fight as a joke. You know, like even if it was a judge fight.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, man. Like, I just kind of felt that way about that dude. That's the only way. And people used to call us brothers because we even like, kind of look similar or some shit. So I don't know.
I don't think I ever seen a photo of him.
Well, I mean, apparently he looks like me, and I don't know, because I think I only seen like one photo of him, and I think he looks a little bit more Mexican than me, but he's also a little bit, well, back then he was a little fatter than me. So,
you know, the fucked up thing about it is, I don't know if I told you this before, but I always thought Freak was black.
Oh, really?
Just because of his voice. And I remember he was talking about some guy. He's like, man, this guy come up to my work, and I guess he was applying for a job, because he said he come in, his pants was sagging, his hat was on stupid, and he was all talking like, yeah, man, is y'all hiring? So I don't know if he was talking about somebody that was black or just a white guy that was pretending to be the wigger style.
Right.
And then he's like, yeah, I'm trying to find me a jobs and shit, yo. I was like, what? So if that right there told me he wasn't black, and I had to come up on the mic and ask him. I said, look, man, I said, forgive me if I'm wrong, but you're not black, are you? He's like, no, I'm not black.
I mean, he's dark complexion. Like he's either Italian or something. I'm assuming he's Italian.
I forget what he told me, but man, my mind was blown because the whole time I thought he was a black guy. Just, I never fronted him on it, never battled him about it or nothing like that. Because you know, you are who you are. If you're good, you're good.
Right.
You know what I mean, like true power is mine.
Oh my God! I was gonna ask you earlier if you remember that bow down slarms.
Yeah,
like that fucking guy. Yeah,
he was slapping his fucking desk with a belt.
Yeah. Wait, was True Power Is Mine? Was he a black dude?
Yes.
Okay.
He was a big old black guy.
I think he has a YouTube channel, and
holy shit,
he goes live, right? And I went in there when he was like, because I don't know if it's him or not, but I was just like, he's on a fucking like religious preachy fucking whatever, and like his chat's scrolling, and I fucking go in there and I'm like, True Power Is Mine, and he said something, and I'm like, dude, just tell him bow down slarms, and the motherfucker was like, Exalted One says bow down, and yeah, just tell him bow down, and I'm like, does he remember who I am? Did he remember that he used to say that shit? Does this dude know? I don't think he remembers, but
hey, you know what? Depending on what he was trying to do, he maybe tried to evade your ass.
Oh yeah, that's true, dude. That's true. But yeah, what the fuck? True Power Is Mine. It's all one word. Is his YouTube channel? True Power Is Mine.
That's got to be him.
I'm thinking it is, dude. He's on some shit. Like
I'm gonna have to look him up later. No shit.
Yeah, dude. Just type it into fucking YouTube and just all one fucking word. And this dude is just. I don't even like Mark from Anaheim new 2019 coming war special report, and like he's talking about like Federal Reserve, like fucking riots and shit, and Jimmy Carter, and like all dude, like heaven, reparation, and Antichrist, blah 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 live, like dude, and he goes live and just talks. It's crazy. But yeah, I'm gonna have to see next time this I'm gonna go subscribe to him, but like next time this motherfucker goes live, I'm gonna pop in there again and see what's up.
Oh man,
just some fucking crazy shit. True Power Is Mine. Bow down.
You did that pretty damn good.
Bow down. Exalted One. Bow down. That motherfucker, Jesus Christ.
I just keep hearing that strap.
Yeah.
Man, because he was striking it, boy.
Oh, yeah. That motherfucker, dude. That's fucking crazy.
So he was actually a hard one to actually get a hold of. I mean, I remember talking to him, and on that whole normal level, it was. I thought he used a voice emulator, but that's a lot in his own voice and the way his microphone came off.
Right.
That's really his voice. I don't know how he sounds on that YouTube channel, but
like pretty normal. I don't like. To me, he always sounded like he was stuffed up. And I'm pretty sure this is. I'm pretty sure this is this dude. I wish I could just fucking like. I don't know. He's just old.
I remember I got it out of him where he got the slarms from, and I just can't remember what he was pulling that from though.
Yeah,
but
I don't remember.
He did explain the slarms, and it's something goofy. It's not even. I don't know if it was in a movie or it's something he created, but you know, it's just shit like that could be. If this was turned into a movie, you know,
dude, I'd want it to be like some kind of documentary thing where like
or
you got to know the background of the person before or even after like they started, you know, like where did True Power Is Mine like originate from? What's this dude in real life compared to his like persona online or something.
Something that could really, really work is all these Yahoo personalities being used as cartoon voices.
Oh yeah, that would work.
The antics that would fucking, remember Animaniacs?
Oh yeah.
There could be a lot of shit going on with shit like that, and like with True Power with his cartoon antics, you know,
Yeah.
bow down and then just smacking motherfuckers with a belt.
Yep. Yep.
Because man, there were times that he would just keep lighting that belt up.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, what? He was king of the hands free.
Oh yeah, dude. There were some Mike Hoggers, dude. He was one of them, man. That dude was just, and that's why I think is when you check out this dude's YouTube channel, like, that's why I think this guy is him, because he gets on them preachy ass fucking tangents that he used to. Like, I see little characteristics coming out in this dude that I'm like, all right, this kind of reminds me of him.
You know what I used to do in order to have a lockdown on the mic? I would push down on the mic, get it keyed up, and then I would take a folded piece of paper and stick it into my mouse in between the other button and just wedge it. So then now, okay, I can relax and not have to worry about fucking slipping on that motherfucker and losing the mic in the middle of a fight.
Well, you remember you used to do the trick in the Java chat where you like held left click and then hit right click and it would stick?
I may have learned that. I'm sure I probably did.
Yeah.
But I hated using Java, even though it was unbootable for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just I only used Java for the fact that when I had the backdoor Java, I could create capitals.
Oh yeah.
And everybody would think that I was in Yahoo Elite, and they'd try to boot me. It's like, well, that's when you could boot Elite or at least flood it, but depending on how they had their Yahoo Elite set up, they wouldn't have the anti-flood set up.
Yeah.
But you know, the Java was the most secure way anyway to enter Yahoo, but I just didn't like the way it ran. I always liked Messenger. I'd always risk going in Messenger. Everybody, most of the time, especially if they see my name in capitals, they thought, oh, well, I'm not going to fuck with him. Well, there'd be a lot of times I would come in Java without putting the capitals in, still be in the back door, and I would see these boot codes come in my Messenger. And I'm like, man, what the fuck? Only problem with that, in Java, you couldn't copy and paste the text.
Right. So
I would fucking go through and I would write down all these fucking multi-lines that was coming through the Messenger.
Jesus,
and then I would,
dude.
yeah. And then I would go ahead and put them in a notepad. And, you know, that way I had that as to most of the boot codes that I fucking put out there, they were Frankenstein boots because I would take a little bit from each one.
Yeah.
And when they had the Windows knocker, where it would just fucking you would flatline in Yahoo and anything else that you had running, and you'd be sitting at your desktop looking at a blank screen.
Yeah.
I mean, your icons wouldn't even pop up. So that when I had that one, that was actually man, that was a huge fucking text. That was all copy and pasted, but I put that in the multi-line, and then all of my other little Frankenstein boots when I would put it in Yahoo Elite, and just flood. That's when I showed the WTC clan, because they kept accusing me of booting the fight rooms. I'm like, look, no, I said I don't boot anybody that doesn't need to be booted. If you're going to talk about kids and fucking all that other bullshit, yeah, I'm going to fucking flatline your ass. But I said, if you want to see how much somebody could boot, I said, if I really wanted to boot, I would keep this room on lockdown. They're like, oh, you can't lock down this fucking room. Really? Keep saying that, and then you're going to see what's going to happen. Right. So at that time, I was on cable. So I just put Yahoo Elite in that room on the multi-lines and had it fucking looping. And I just walked away and went and did my day. And I come back, and it's still running. You know, I was gone 3 or 4 fucking hours.
The majority of people, man. I remember the first time, like, It seemed like everybody else had cable and I didn't have. I was still on dial-up, dude. I fucking hated that time. I hated that shit.
I was probably one of the first people in Yahoo to have cable.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, I know I wasn't the first, but there's only a handful of people that had good fucking cable.
Yep.
Because it wasn't offered everywhere.
Right.
So then all that additional bandwidth, it's like I could just key up and just fucking absorb the room.
Yep.
It was fucking like being in Pal Talk, but on the opposite end. Because I never had bandwidth in Pal Talk. I don't know what it was. No matter what internet I had, Pal Talk would not fucking let me key up good.
Pal Talk was just fucking weird, man. They had their own problems too. Like there was just certain ways to just grab the mic from people without, you know, the bandwidth shit didn't matter. I still also believe that, like, because you can pay for like a, you know, higher tier of Pal Talk and shit, I totally believe that, like, you know, the higher tiered people got the mic first. Some stupid shit like that.
That's what I always assumed too, and people would tell me that that's not the case, and they got good internet and all this other shit, and they don't know why that they're not getting it. And I was like, well, I wouldn't be paying for it.
Yeah.
If I wasn't getting it, no.
Yep.
You better give me some kind of advantage.
Yep.
Because I'm not in it for the fucking camera.
Right. That fucking Java shit though, man. Like I remember the one of the first boot codes for fucking Yahoo was in the Java client, and it was just like a string of fucking random ass symbols and shit that just wasn't supported in Java. Because you used to literally have to fucking paste the shit in there. Like you couldn't copy text from Java, but you could paste it in the you know, if you copied it from Notepad or something, you could paste it in the fucking the send
Control C.
Yeah.
Control
like,
V.
Yeah, the first one of them, like fucking, you know, like they'd make them like fucking things. It was like an asterisk and a tilde. Like it was just like fucking wave, like a little, I don't know, whatever you call that ASCII art shit. But yeah, that was like one of the first ones.
Macro.
Yeah, a little whatever the fuck it. Yeah, and that
was those are macro booters.
Yeah, but then even then, it still wasn't worth it to really boot because it would knock your own goddamn self off.
Oh hell, fuck that.
Yeah. So I mean, it just totally crashed the entire fucking chat, but it kicked everybody off. So you know, win-win, lose-win. Who the hell knows? You know,
just go for the room and not an individual.
Yeah. Yep.
But if you had two PCs set up, you know, or if you were able to multi-log in.
Well, also, this was at the time, like, if you really wanted to clear a room, you could try to get somebody that you knew was in the room, because they were capped at 30 originally or something like that. Only 30 people could get in a room or something. And then you'd sit there and like knock. You remember on Java, like, you know, be like, this room is full.
It would just say knocking.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so if you knew somebody in there, that was a pretty good way to like guarantee that you could get a spot in the room by like, you kick everybody off the motherfucker and then you hurry up and go in there.
Yeah, but you have to be in the middle of the knock because there's plenty of other people that were trying to get in too.
Yep.
I remember people would say like, well, just boot somebody in, just one person. Let me, you know, and you'd boot somebody. And then they still wouldn't get in. It's like, damn, you fucking slow ass motherfucker. But you never know how long someone was in the waiting.
Right.
Because like Fight Room 1 was bad about that. Everybody wanted to be in one.
Yep. That was my home for the longest time. And then I seen that shit turn to shit.
Yeah.
Fight Room 1 was where that shit all went down originally, man. That was like the fucking primo, like you started off like as a fighter back then. You started off in them fucking higher number rooms and worked your way down.
Fight Room number 32.
Yeah, and worked your way down. Like the competition got fucking harder the lower the numbers got.
And then there's just certain rooms that were just stationary, you know, like 16 and 4 and just even what was it? Fight Room 9 was the hateds or
7 was the hateds.
Okay.
Yeah, Fight
Room somewhere around there. It tripped me out why certain rooms just had a certain type of people in there.
Yeah. It's weird, dude. And it's weird how it kind of evolved too, because like one used to be like way back in the day, one used to be the shit, and then somehow the group thing, like the groups would claim their own little fight rooms. So then you have, like the Hateds had 7. Enforcers maybe had 5 or something like that. Sweet Pea's group originally had 16, and I don't know what the fuck happened to that. 14 had like Gates of Hell or like some weird fucking groups. It's weird. Go ahead.
You mean Sweet Pea had a group before WTC?
Yeah, Sweet Pea had Bitch and Bastard Sorcerers or something like that.
Huh.
You remember Bitch Sorcerers?
Because I always knew Fight Room 16 to be WTC.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is before WTC was a thing. And she had, because I was in there for a split fucking second for some reason. It was like a joke or something. And I remember putting on that fucking tag, and dude, I couldn't even type the fucking, because she had, bitch was spelled like B1, TC is sorceress, was all fucking letters and numbers and shit. And I'm like, this is fucking stupid. Bastard sorcerer or some dumb shit. But yeah, like they were the sorcerers group. That was her like OG group that she had. And then some drama shit happened there, and she ended up joining WTC, because I think that's pretty much where she left, or like her home finally became, or some shit. But yeah, fucking old times, man.
Sweet Pea and Shroomy was good friends there for a while, I thought.
Oh, really?
I think they were. At least they were cordial with each other nonetheless.
Yeah, probably.
But I'm pretty sure that they got along pretty good.
I don't remember hearing Sweet Pea like ever fight. I don't think.
She would. She, just too soft spoken, and I don't know if that was because of shit at home or if that's just it was her persona. But hell, on one of my old profiles, I had her on my friends list, and me and Sweet Pea had our ups and downs, but we're still able to maintain a camaraderie with each other. Just it's like, okay, I have you on friends list. That's about it. Never really talked to her.
Yeah, I mean, I would message her and just joke around from time to time, but like something fucking happened to her in real life to really fuck her up, man.
Yeah, I think she got hooked on drugs.
Yeah, I
remember sending her a message saying, "Hey, are you okay? What's going on with you today?" Yeah. And nothing ever came out of that.
You probably don't even remember who you are. She don't remember who the fuck I am. But that could be a Facebook thing too. I don't know. We were friends a long time ago.
I don't know. I mean, from the messy things that I kept seeing on Facebook that she was like talking about, and the way people were talking to her, never said what she was doing. But to be honest, I think she got on that dog food, yo.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yep.
Because there's a lot of shit that just didn't make any sense, but she was talking about, oh, no one cares and blah, blah, might as well be dead and this and that. And I'm like, man, it's just straight up sounds like somebody that's fucking battling heroin.
Yep. I'm pretty sure that's what she was on, or like addicted to or something. I mean, I don't know for sure, but
I mean, it could have been any other drug, but I mean, just from what I gathered, I mean, it's a shame. I wish nothing bad like that on nobody.
Yep.
I've seen enough.
Yeah, I agree. Totally agree.
There's drugs, and then there's fucking killers, and pot's not even in my classification a drug, but I mean, it might be a gateway to some, but that is that is the most gentle of drugs out there that you can put in your body.
Yep.
But, you know, when you get into all these other fucking pills and fucking serums and shit like that, hey, man, you know, you're fucking around with the devil right there.
Yeah.
He's gonna fucking have your ass. Not saying in a religious sense, because I mean I know that probably come off like that, but I mean that's the devil's candy, man.
Oh yeah. I mean,
I've even heard marijuana be referred to as the devil's lettuce.
Oh yeah, I've heard it called that too.
Yeah, not a whole lot of people has heard this, especially here in Indiana. But yeah, man, it's not a term here. It's just that would never be said.
Fuck, man, it seems like every place has a little like terminology for it.
Oh yeah,
I've heard fucking everything, man. Like crazy shit.
Well, I remember the first time I heard, really just by all the drugs out there have the fucking nicknames, but when you first hear shit like, okay, can you remember the very first time you heard the word crank?
Fuck, yeah, from a movie.
Right? He's like,
yeah.
Man, on that crank. What the fuck?
Yeah.
You mean, on a what? Is there a sprocket involved? You know,
Right.
Crank. Like, yeah, crank them up, I guess.
Yeah, dude, I don't even fucking know. Like I've heard weed like in St. Louis, I guess they call fucking weed Doty, and I have no idea where that comes from. But I'm like, dude, Doty?
Doty it for some reason became a term to be used for good bud. And the only thing that I can even see that is any synonymous in any kind of form is the fact that if a bud is spongy, that's a good bud.
Mm.
You know, I don't know how much about pot that you actually know, but you don't want a dry, crispy fucking bud. Right. You never do. You want it to be a little dank. Yep. And that right there, a lot of people say, oh, man, this is some dank-ass shit. And you get it, and it's dry. And you're like, wait a minute, I thought you said this was dank. No, that's the dank right there. Oh, this is the dank. This ain't dank, though, motherfucker. Yeah. So you're not getting what you're paying for. Now, Doty is something in the arborist world that you refer to in wood. Like when wood is old and dry and kind of slightly moisturized from being dead, it gets soft. It gets soft. Like when you split it in half, it actually comes off like crumbs. That's Doty wood.
No shit.
Kind of like a dying sponge-like material.
Holy fuck, man. The more you know.
That's Doty wood right there. And then the only way I can see where they get that would be that. And that's, in my opinion, not no fucking pot that you would want to be fucking smoking. God. I wouldn't want something that's going to crumb up on me.
Well, dude, so we went and they have this room in Pal Talk that gets a little popular. It's just a chat room, like a off chat room type thing. It's not a fight room. But For Life went up in there and they were talking about rolling up a blunt or some shit like that, and he's just like, oh yeah, I got that dirty doty dough over here, and they're like, and dude, they just were making fucking fun of this dude, like, and instantaneously, you got that doody doo over there, that doo doo weed, blah blah blah, all this shit, and I'm like, I don't even understand. I've never heard weed called doty and it being a good thing. Like I've never heard. But apparently, like, these guys were able to pinpoint, like, oh, he's from fucking St. Louis. That's where he's from. And I'm like, how do you people know this? Like, I would never. You got to be in the culture or something, I guess.
They got a family member or something.
Yeah, man, something. Or they've gotten some weed from, like, St. Louis before, and it was called, this that doty dough. You know, like, something, I don't know. It's fucking crazy.
Dirty doty, yo.
Yeah. That's crazy.
But yeah, that's where Doty comes from. It's old,
Wood.
dry, spongy type of feel wood.
That's crazy. How do you spell it? Is it like D-O-D-I or something, or is it?
You know,
you don't know.
I would almost say with a T-I. I-E maybe.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know how to. I don't know.
D-O-T-I-E maybe.
No, I don't see anything. Well,
hell, a lot of times
it doesn't matter.
when I can't wrap my head around a spelling, a lot of times I just press the microphone and, you know, speak into the fucking phone like, now, yeah, look at that. That's how it's spelled.
well, Doty Wood is a Canadian ice hockey player, if that helps anything. Imagine if your name was that shit.
it just backs my reference is all.
Yeah, right.
The Canadian hockey player, and just some shit. Doty Wood.
Doty Wood.
He must really be able to take a hit, man.
Yeah, right.
Because oh man, I hear these youngsters out here talking, you know, all this new slang and this and that, but something that they never fucking let go of is, oh man, this shit's Doty. And I'm thinking, okay, stay away from it. You know,
that's crazy.
All right, sale's over. No sale here.
Huh. Yeah, that's crazy, man. I don't know. Whatever. I'm done looking it up. I'll find it later. But yeah, that's fucking crazy, man.
Then again, it might be Doety.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or it might even be DY. I don't know. Because people say Do-D, they don't say Do-T.
Yeah. Well, literally DODI brings up Urban Dictionary for like bomb ass weed, so I'm assuming it's DODI, but like I don't know the legit spelling. I don't know. All good.
Damn. Fucking that man, we got on drugs and all of a sudden the shit just fucking fuck Yahoo.
Yeah, right.
Big distraction.
Dowdy.
No, another name that surfaces is Titan. Remember Titan?
Oh yeah, the fucking where was he from?
He was in like
I was gonna say like Israel? No, Jerusalem.
Not Israel. Somewhere over there in
Turkey?
No. I don't know if he was in Libya or Egypt or
yeah, one of them. Yeah, fuck, dude.
Iran or Iraq.
Iran, maybe. Yeah, we went through every fucking country.
Because I worried about him after 9/11.
Yeah.
Because I was like, man, he very well could have been bombed.
Yeah.
Because boy, we really fucking lit that place up.
He was a good dude, man.
Oh, he would fucking walk you through shit that if you didn't understand it, he would be like, look, okay, this is what you do. You can do this. And I'd be like, man, I can't fucking do this. You're like, no. Look, we'll just do this one little step at a time. So once he showed me some tricks, I fucking, oh my God. I think it was probably because of Titan that I started script kidding my own fucking shit.
Yeah.
Because he gave me the pathways, you know, that like certain things to like, he would tell me how a certain line would start out, where it's going to start directing on somebody's system of what it's going to try to affect, whether it's going to try to munch their RAM or whatever. He knew all that fucking script. And, I became my own little script kiddie, like I said, and just fucking started getting creative and manipulating and Frankensteining my boots. And man, I could make some fucking fabulous floods.
Titan was he was 187 at one point in time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I thought so.
And I think he still remained while Max was there, but he didn't give two shits about Max.
Yeah.
And Max wasn't going to get rid of anybody just because it's a name that somebody respected.
Well, not only that, but anybody that was a name that Edge had brought in, you know, Edge or any one of the founders brought in.
I don't think he was around when Edge was there. At least I don't think then. I think he came along with Max's shit, to be honest.
Huh.
But he was always a factor in the rooms.
Yeah.
And it was him, and this really fucking blew my mind. He used to like listening to me, and he got tired of everybody booting me. He's like, man, so many times you'd be on a roll, and then all of a sudden somebody would boot you. He goes, but every time someone gave themselves away for booting you, he goes, I nailed them, and I nailed them all day.
Yep.
I said, what?
That's how I used to make all my like, dude, these people would come up to me, like, I didn't even know half of them, and they would offer me fucking protection because they wanted to hear me on the mic. And I'm like, that's the most humbling fucking thing. Like, I just don't want y'all motherfuckers to boot. Like,
right. Yeah. I don't want anybody booting, but that's how a lot of people felt.
Yeah.
But, you know, when you had known booters, like, see, that's something, he always sat back in the shadows.
Yep.
And no one ever assumed that somebody named Titan would be, because, you know, he had a couple of different variants the way he would put his name out. And he had a couple other aliases. He had something called Apple Man or some shit like that.
Huh.
And it was something really innocent. Just never drew attention. And he said he could come in on Messenger unless somebody was trying to boot the room. Nobody would even attempt to boot him because he never keyed up.
Yeah.
But yeah, he said there was a couple times he's tried to make conversation with me while I was on the mic, and he said he wasn't sure if I heard him, and I was like, well, I don't think that I ever did. I said, but now that I know your name and what's going on, I said that's what I remember. I remember what flashes in front of my face and what stays keyed up. He's like, well, I won't stay keyed up. I'll just say my piece and get off the mic. And I'm like, well, believe me, if you ever want the microphone, you got a message to tell anybody, and I'm on the mic, you can have it. You know, you're more than welcome to take the mic from me.
Yep.
And he was one of those people that if he ever did want the mic, he could have controlled any room that he wanted at any time. He just didn't find interest in it.
Yeah, those people fucking added a different dynamic to the rooms too, man. Like that was some shit where, like, I actually used to feel bad for the people that got booted that I was even going up against, because, like, you know, part of me was like, yeah, you probably fucking deserve to get booted for whatever fucking reason, but, like, I just felt bad. Like, nobody deserves that shit, dude. I don't know. Like, I could have handled the shit myself, but, like, I don't know. You know, they sort of interjected themselves into the fight when, like, they decide it's time for them to go, you know?
Right.
Like they didn't leave because they got their ass whooped or because I was making fun of them or, you know, whatever the case may have been. They left because they got booted, and that's not the way that it should go.
Right. There were plenty of times where I would fucking come on the mic, or I'd already have the mic, and my opponent would drop out the room, and I'm like, you know what, people? I know for a fact that person did not run, and because whoever did boot him, the show's over with me too, so you might as well attempt your ass off to boot me, because I hope you do.
Yep.
Because I'm probably going to find out who you are.
Yep.
So, yeah, I'd drop the mic and be like, look, this show's over here. And next thing you know, I'd go to another room, and then I'd peer in Messenger for all the other open rooms and see that the numbers were like down to 4. You know, it's like a room of 25 just dumped out because I left.
Yep. That's usually how it goes. I mean, or the room, and like the thing about it is like you go to another room, and like the booter or whatever, they just sit there, and it's just a quiet room. Like, what the fuck is the point in that? And
Right.
they would do the same thing when they increased the cap to the room numbers. They would fucking pile in all these fucking bots, and the people would just sit there in a room by themselves. I'm like, what the fuck is the point in this? Like, you're a loner, man. You're sitting in here by yourself with all these fucking bots.
Owning shit, yo.
Yeah. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, how do you feel good about that? You and your fucking AI or bot fucking friends.
Fucking ate up.
No, it's fucking crazy, man. Yeah. All right. That's probably good, man. I gotta call it a goddamn night. It's almost 3 a.m.
Right.
Going at it for a while and shit.
Yeah, I'll be really looking forward to whenever you piece any of this shit together.